Eamonn Holmes, who has regrettably struggled with poor health in recent years, was compelled to exit GB News Breakfast Tuesday morning after becoming unwell during the show. When Eamonn Holmes unexpectedly became ill yesterday while giving a TV presentation, many were alarmed. The presenter was silent for the first part of the show before going missing during his Tuesday morning GB News Breakfast segment. Then, with the camera off screen, he walked away from the desk, leaving co-host Isabel Webster to deliver the last 90 minutes without him. Continue reading. I was paralyzed by terror. Catherine Thomas describes a horrifying experience that she will never forget. Continue reading. Speaking candidly about splitting from agent Noel Kelly in the wake of the RT incident is Sarah Kelly. The reason for his early departure was cited by a GB News representative as being health-related. However, the absence was not discussed during the show. Eamonn had to finish a little earlier today due to his illness. They stated, his goal is to return tomorrow. GB News Breakfast has him back on the air today, suggesting that he is doing better. The 64-year-old presenter, who has battled health issues in the past, said he feels like he is living on borrowed time. While attending the TRIC Awards last week in a state-of-the-art wheelchair that relieves his severe back pain, he continued by saying that although he was sore and thought about leaving the award ceremony, he had a lot of support and was making a lot of effort to get well from his chronic pain. He told the Mirror, I wasn't going to come, but I got this new chair with all these gadgets. I work hard at attempting to walk, but I become really bitter that I'm not the way I used to be. Getting by on a typical day is really difficult, but I have support from those around me. In a statement issued on their behalf last month, a representative for Eamonn and his wife Ruth stated, they have confirmed that their marriage is over and that they are in the process of divorcing. In response to the news, he said, I'm not okay. This is absolutely not a good moment. Though it's too soon to tell, I hope our friendship will endure. Eamonn Holmes had been discussing his childhood love of tennis with sports writer Paul Coit and co-star Ellie Costello. Initially, they had been talking about how the courts had advanced significantly when Eamonn interrupted with a startling confession. He revealed that a girl had stolen my racket in order to kiss me after describing how he had initially taken up tennis at an all-girls school, calling it another story. Ellie chirped back, oh, that's so sweet. And Eamonn answered, I know, I marry her, to which the studio exploded in an embarrassing guffaw of laughing. His shocking admission comes after the host abruptly left GD News yesterday, July 3, saying he felt sick while hosting the show. He had been interviewing Maria Caulfield, the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Mental Health, at the time of his abduction. Given that Eamonn was silent the entire time, which is unusual for him, something felt off during the conversation. However, his co-host Isabel Webster was present to give the MP a hard time. Eamonn vanished from view shortly after the conversation ended, allowing Isabel to take over their breakfast program by herself for an additional 15 minutes. It's safe to say that Eamonn has been dealing with a lot lately, including the loss of his mother, a number of debilitating health problems, and his recent breakup with his soon-to-be ex-wife, a star of Loose Women. Ruth and Eamonn became a household name when they co-hosted the beloved ITV Daily Show this morning. Before leaving the program in 2021, they had held the position for 15 years. Ruth Langsford and Eamonn Holmes have confirmed their marriage is over and they are in the process of divorcing. The couple, who had been married for 14 years, stated through a spokeswoman. It had been stated that after their divorce, Eamonn went back to work normally and found solace with an unidentified blonde family acquaintance. Since the announcement, Ruth, however, has refrained from any TV employment. Here, we are on this Tuesday morning with a lot of politics, he said, summarizing the shocking news that he and Ruth were divorcing on GB News. Before we go on, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been there for Ruth and me during the past few days since we announced our separation. Your assistance to the two of us is greatly valued. In a heated tirade on GB News, Eamonn Holmes took aim at the worksheet culture prevalent in Britain. It follows Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's declaration that, should he be elected Prime Minister, he would not work on Fridays after 6 p.m. The GB News anchor then went on to criticize those who don't want to work, implying that the revelation is indicative of Britain's worksheet mentality. Should you be expected to work at all? Questioned Eamonn in a mocking manner. Eamonn Holmes became unwell and left his GB News show live on air. The host, who claimed to be on borrowed time, to the Mirror last week, caused suspicion when he vanished midway through a Tuesday morning interview with Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for Mental Health, Maria Caulfield, at 7:45 a.m. During the chat, Eamonn, who is typically rather vocal, stayed silent and let his co-host Isabel Webster question the MP. After then, Eamonn left the studio, leaving Isabel to host the remaining 90 minutes of their breakfast program by herself. The news was released a few days after the seasoned broadcaster revealed to the Mirror that after splitting from Ruth Langsford, he was not at the TRIC Awards. Eamonn had to finish a little earlier today as he was feeling unwell, a GB News representative stated. His goal is to return tomorrow. A friend of Eamonn's told the Mail Online that despite his health issues, he was in high spirits. The 64-year-old has experienced health issues in recent years. At the TRIC Awards, he discussed an operation that went wrong with the Mirror. "Thank you so much for this award," he stated. "It was against world-class programs, which adds a little more specialness. We've all considered imposter syndrome at some point. A year and a half ago, I had surgery, and it didn't go well. Two things that I didn't want are in my back." Every now and then, Eamonn uses a mobility scooter. However, the public's reactions to his new means of transportation on social media have been conflicting. In an interview with Vest magazine in September, he stated, "I was being made fun of on social media by several people. Oh my goodness, I see Eamonn on a mobility scooter. I would prefer if I wasn't in it, but how else would I have gotten around?" I retorted. "The alternative is that I stay home and work from my armchair at the office. I leave then. Getting outside is mentally uplifting." After divorcing his previous wife, Eamonn reportedly turned to a mysterious blonde family friend for solace. Although Ruth has continued to take a hiatus from her television career, Eamonn made a comeback to the screens a few days after his divorce was made public. He said, "So here we are on this Tuesday morning and a lot of politics," in response to the shocking announcement. "Before we go on, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been there for Ruth and me during the past few days since we announced our separation. Your assistance to the two of us is greatly valued." While before, he'd said something cryptic like, "What a weekend it was."